Okay, so basically, this is Miss Jackie.
What's up? Yes.
This is who I will be interviewing today. We are gonna start off with some questions,
Indeed.
and then I am going to piggyback off of my end, having a visible disability, and she's gonna talk about having an invisible disability.
Wonderful. Hi there, Miss Amber. Everybody. Sorry for the delay.
Hi.
Hey, everybody.
Even though y'all been talking to me forever now, but it's okay. All
You were
right.
talking good though. You were talking good.
So we're gonna start with you first, Miss Jackie.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So the first question is name. They already know your name.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Miss Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
Your diagnosis
Okay.
and how does it affect you?
So again, my name's Jackie. Hey, everybody. So my diagnosis is conversion disorder. It's also known as psychogenic non-epileptic seizures or events, depending on if PNES or the initials or PNEE. Basically, what it does, without using all the big and fancy words, is that my body responds as if it's having a seizure. The only exception is that I don't have any electrical. There's no activity within my brain as far as electrical activity within my brain. But that's what makes it different, and that's how I'm not been able to been diagnosed with epilepsy. So my body, and I'm still kind of learning about it myself. I was diagnosed with it in 2016 as a result of a car accident. At first, when I was having the symptoms of not being able to speak or slurred speech or not having activity of my limbs, I thought it was due to a medication withdrawal. And so we ended up later on, when I stopped taking that medication, I got prescribed a different medication for my back spasms, but I was scared to even take those. So when I wasn't taking any medication at all, the symptoms persisted. So again, those symptoms being loss of motor control, where I really didn't have any at any given time, my legs or my arms, and that would kind of go out on me. My speech started slurring. I would stutter real bad. My eyes would kind of roll in the back of my head. I would get extremely tired out, and I would kind of pass out from it, and I would be asleep for hours on end. Not even being tired, So another symptom was convulsing, or it's kind of like having seizures and things of that nature. So all of that stuff I had not had or experienced prior to that car accident. Now, kind of speeding ahead a year or two in, or year and a half in, I kept having to go to the hospital or getting rushed from church by ambulance, all types of crazy stuff. And by the time I would get to the hospital, the symptoms would have subsided. So it was very frustrating. It can still be frustrating, but now I'm learning to, manage it a bit better.
Miss Jackie, you are blessed. You are so blessed.
I'd like to think so. Definitely.
The next question is, do you feel like it is harder to accommodate because your disability is not visible?
The accommodations. I guess I kind of can't answer this without going into the next question. I know you kind of prepared for me.
Yeah.
But I'll try.
Go ahead, do what you gotta do.
Okay, so as far as accommodations, it's been difficult in that I don't know when the episodes are going to happen. So I can't even plan for it. I'm like, hey, on Wednesday be here because it may be this intense. Or even my accommodations, I'm kind of, again, learning along the way, because anything can trigger it. Stress can trigger it, loud noises. My body can kind of overheat. So learning or trying to understand the sensations of my body is kind of where I even is what I play off of. My accommodations, my support system, as far as like my sister, my mother, my dad, my other mom, they have been my accommodations. In all honesty, they kind of learned okay, when her eyes get too low, we need to watch her a little bit more. Or if they're trying to talk to me, because my eyes are going to a deadlock and I wouldn't be able to move. I'm aware of everything going on around me, but I can't move from that position until it passes. So finding accommodations, like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I don't know what to accommodate. Because in my mind it was like, okay, God, I don't want to have to utilize any type of aids if I don't have
Yeah.
to. With me not being diagnosed as an epileptic, there is no medications for it, so it's like you out here on your own. So I
Yeah.
guess accommodations are hard.
Yeah.
I guess they are hard. Yeah.
Um, do you feel like it is harder for people to relate to you, and why?
Yes. Absolutely, because their understanding, and this is not a shot against their intellect, but trying to get them to understand where I'm coming from has been difficult. Because I've run into people who say things like, "Oh, that's mind over matter. Like, it's all in your head," and it's not. If it was in my head, I could control it. Trust me, I would definitely do so.
Right.
So some people can be insensitive, but that comes again with acknowledging it and doing videos and things as such as this. Um, I've the best way I was able to explain it to one individual was, it's like trying to explain, if for military men and women or people that's been in the military, it's like trying to explain that experience to a civilian. It's like, no matter how much or how you rephrase it and talk about it, that understanding will still it still won't be there for them, because
Right.
that experience has been tailored to you. So
Mhm.
yeah.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
It's like telling a able-bodied person that is this event accessible for me, and they like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Like, that was for us, that's clear as day. It's like, it makes sense, but
Yeah.
1 + 1 is 2.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely understand that.
So I'm just gonna piggyback off of some of the questions that she already answered. We're not done yet, but I want to give my insight on some of the questions that she's answered from a visible disability standpoint. Well, I have cerebral palsy, spastic diplegia. It is a disability that affects me from my waist down. Actually, it affects me more, I feel like, because it also affects my hands. I have spasms, so I just like randomly jerk sometimes or jump sometimes. Sometimes I lose my balance. You just never know what's gonna happen.
Right. Right.
So that's pretty much my diagnosis. Sometimes I use a walker, I use a wheelchair, I use crutches. It all depends on where I'm going
Okay.
and what I'll be doing.
Okay.
Um, and do I feel like it's hard to accommodate? From her standpoint, I feel like it's a little easier because you can physically see um, what's actually going on, because I use mobility aids. You can see that I walk, differently. So I feel like on that end, people know that I'll need accommodations, but the hard part is what kind of accommodations, how you accommodate me in a way that will be accessible.
Yes.
Like, for instance, we're planning our wedding, so we have to make sure that everything is like put down, all the decorations are like put down properly in a way that I won't trip or like fall. You can't have any rugs or like anything that will like cause me to trip. You have to make sure that all of that is put away and safe enough for me to walk. That's an example of that. Let me see. I do feel like it's hard for people to relate to me. Because at the same time, I do need accommodations, but I'm not too. You know, I don't need somebody to be like, oh, well, you need to be careful of how you turn this corner,
Yes,
or
yes,
like, you
yes.
need to be careful of this, or, you know how, let me just give an example. Okay, so for instance, sometimes I need help taking off my shoes, sometimes I don't. If I need help with anything, I will let you know that. Don't off the back just offer to help me.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like, can I help you? No, I'm able to do anything that I want to do, but if I need assistance, then I will ask you.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't always need assistance, and I don't like for people to just be like,
Assume.
oh, can I help you? If I need help, I will let you know. That's just
Mhm.
one of those
Makes
things,
sense.
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Definitely. If I
Um,
can kind of just jump in on there too. So when I am in my episode, like I said, sometimes there's been times where I've fallen just kind of out of nowhere. I'm walking and I lose my balance and I'll fall. So I'm like, a lot of those times I've honestly been grateful that I was, by myself, because what I've learned is some of what happens to me causes other people to, one, go into a panic, or two, they immediately become the additional stressor for me. So when you're saying, like, if I need the help, I'll definitely ask for it. That's the same for me too. I If I'm able to, um, like when it comes to my spasms or the convulsions that I have, I tend to kind of hold myself so that they can go as unnoticeable as possible. But what ends up happening is that it causes the rest of my body pain. And those that are close to me, I've just kind of they notice some things right away. Like for my dad, he knows that my eyes go low. For my mother and my sister, they hear this um they hear this the change in my speech. So others, they, I have about two others who are close to me. They, again, they look for my body language. So it's like, you good? Can you drive? Because I'm not supposed, once I have the episode, I'm supposed to take all the precautions as though I've had a full-blown seizure. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like, if I'm telling you I'm good, I'm good. And I'm, again, going to the same. But when I know it's too much, or
yeah.
it's tired me out too
Like,
much,
don't
that's when I'm
question
like,
me
hey,
2 or 3
drive
times.
me home. Yeah, indeed,
Yeah, like chill out.
indeed.
We got this. We got
Right.
this. It's a lot of times
Yes.
in school where I have to be like, I got this. Like,
Mhm.
let me do
Mhm.
this.
Right,
I'm
right, right.
disabled, but I'm independent.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm,
let me
mhm,
do this.
mhm.
Um, I feel like that's the hard part that people don't understand.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, disabled adults want to be treated like disabled adults, not like their kids, not
True,
like, you know, they just
true.
want to have that
Don't
same
babyfy it.
treatment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I feel like it's important that people understand that when we need help, we'll ask for it.
Mhm. Mhm. I
It's
agree.
not something that you need to force on us
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
say, oh, let me help you.
Right, right, right. I agree
I
with that.
think the next question is, do you sometimes get that you are faking your disability?
I have yet to um ex- experience someone saying that to me directly, but it's been my experience that that is yet their perception of it, and that becomes the reason, that adds to the reasons why, if I can minimalize whatever it is that's happening at that point, that I
Mm-hmm.
will, or I can. I don't care how much pain I'll be in later as a result of it. I just, like, I don't trust. I try to hurry up and exit whatever scene, stage left,
Yes,
to
yes,
avoid,
most
feeling like that,
definitely.
or people thinking that I'm faking, because and it's